Alright, I'm back again. I will try to be as quick about this as I can. Just have a handful of things I want to talk about. First and foremost, it looks like Argentina's inflation rate for April they're predicting it could fall below 10%. I'll have a link for that. As I've said many times before, if he can actually pull this off and fix Argentina's economy, he will be the golden child. But the problem is, with Milei, I think that's how you pronounce it, is to pull this off, you basically have to by pulling off and accomplishing or doing such drastic changes so quick, you basically have to micromanage every last detail. And I don't know how much he would be able to do that. I know there's been some resistance from other parts of the government, and right now there's a lot of people pissed off because he's making cuts to things that the people don't want him to cut, even though he basically ran on the idea of, I'm going to do it. Now they're starting to see it, and some of the things they like are being cut, and they don't like that. In the theory of it is sometimes nicer than the implementation. But if he can actually pull it off, he'll be golden. If he can't, what was the former president of Haiti's name? Duvay, something like that. You know, the ones where the people came in and did the stuff and removed him and his immediate family from this plane of existence. Yeah, you could probably see the same thing happening in Argentina if things don't start to improve. I know right now the poverty rate is about in the 60% range, which is not good. It's at one of the highest it's been in quite some time. I think 13 years. So if they can get that to start going down with the national or rate of inflation, get the rate of inflation down, say below 8% even, which is amazing that you would see that as being optimistic. But if they could do that and he can pull that off and he can get the poverty rate below 50%, I think you have to consider that a victory, all things considered. I mean, the inflation rate would still be over, do the math right quick, if he can get it monthly inflation rate below to 8%, I believe the inflation rate for the year would still wind up being around 100%. Maybe a little bit over because the first few months have been double digits. So yeah, inflation may still be over 100%, but it would still be under the 200-300% that we've been looking at. Second thing is, and I just had a brief opportunity to review this, economists are saying that it looks like America is already in a recession, and we're in the risk of going into a debt-based economy, basically where we're kept afloat by debt. Newsflash, we're already there. What was it? How many hundreds of billions of dollars of debt did we rack up in the past couple of months? Yeah, I will have a link to the article about where they're saying, oh, well, we're in a recession and a debt-based economy. I'll put a link down below to that. And if I think, I will see how many billions of dollars in debt we've racked up in the past couple of months. We're already there. At this point, I think it's safe to say we are effectively screwed as a country. We can't support the debt that we are taking on. We can't support the debt we already have at this point. And if you want to see what can be done to save the United States economy, look at what's going on with Argentina. It would probably would not need to be quite as extreme, but we would have to be doing stuff along that line with some pretty sizable deep cuts to things that people don't want to be cut. I had something else I want to talk about. I can't remember what it is, so I guess I'll just talk about the fact that for the Libertarian National Convention, which those that know me know that those poor unfortunate souls who watch my videos often, you know that I do not belong to any political party. I think partisan politics is the devil. It's used to divide us and to keep the lowest denominator in power. But the Libertarian Party has announced, by way of the Mises Caucus that controls it, that come the convention, they will have Donald Trump coming to speak. And they said they reached out to Biden too, but he didn't respond, supposedly. And libertarians are ecstatic at the prospect of having Trump speak, or at least in the party line are. It's almost like they're a part of a cult, truth be told, especially with some of the responses I have been getting on various social media platforms by pointing out the fact that Trump is god-awful and about as far from a libertarian as Joe Biden is. But, you know, I remember all these people, they were absolutely up at arms, pissed off at the prospect of RFK Jr. running as a libertarian. That was just so awful. And don't get me wrong, RFK Jr. is no libertarian. But the same people that were ready to just burn the party to the ground if RFK Jr. even announced the candidacy as libertarian, are some of the same people celebrating the prospect of having Donald Trump come to speak. Now, where, I pray thee do tell, is the logic behind this? The number one theory that I have heard is that the Mises Caucus basically took over the Libertarian Party to be plants for the Republicans to make sure that they don't soften away votes from Trump this go around like happened last go around with Joe Jorgensen. Of course, you also have people saying that RFK Jr., the whole purpose of him running is to soften votes away from Biden. In theory, possible. I just know that I have gotten a lot of people very upset with me right now because I'm pointing out the fact that Trump is no libertarian and really shouldn't be speaking at a libertarian event. And people are saying how great this is. It's like, why? Well, it gives them attention, notoriety. You could do that by running people who are actually sane and competent and can get people interested. But there is absolutely zero energy that I'm picking up coming from the Libertarian Party. And I say that compared to 2016 and 2020, there was a good amount of energy and optimism. You know, I knew what was going on following the exact same people I am now. And I had to look to see who was running as a Libertarian candidate. That's how little there is. And people are like, well, you're just not following the right profiles. On multiple social media platforms, I am following the Libertarian National Committee, the actual Libertarian Party official. My state's Libertarian Party, the Libertarian Party of several other states, especially those around me, as well as several people who have been influential in the Libertarian Party. One has even been the chair of my state's Libertarian, my state's version of the Libertarian Party, my state's Libertarian Party's commissioner, or whatever you want to call him, chair, whatever. I'm following all these people, and I can't tell you who's running for the Libertarian nomination. I had to look up to even see. I figured they already had it by now, locked in by now, and that's how little I knew, and they haven't. And their way to address that is to have the opposition come to your convention to speak. Does that seem right? Does that seem normal? Or does it seem more like maybe some people are right, and maybe the party has been taken over by people trying to prevent them from taking votes from Republicans this go around? It does seem that way, doesn't it? Anyway, that's my thoughts on the matter. I'll have some links down below. I wish I could remember what the other topic was. I actually had the link saved, but I don't remember what it was now. So who knows? Maybe instead of just doing a separate video on that, I'll just pull the link and throw it in the description below, and put an editorialization on it. That way you can have my thoughts in a text form. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you think the Libertarians are screwing up by having Trump come speak? Or do you think pretty much the only people excited are indoctrinated into a cult-like mentality? That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Later.